so first things first, we're going to be making our shimmery cardstock. So I have here 2 perfectly cut pieces, and I use the Lawn Fawn and Black Licorice cardstock for black cardstock. I really like this one. It's nice and smooth and it works well, and it's also sturdy enough to actually be a card base. So that's what we're going to be using today, and then we are going to be adding a little bit of black pansy and also some lime zinnia and ocean poppy on top of these. So we are just gonna do one at a time, I think. So we're gonna take our black pansy first and kind of go just, I mean, we're also gonna want to go over this so we get the whole image, well, piece, because we are then going to be cutting out our scarecrow cover die out of this. So I'm gonna make sure, actually I'll tell you what we can do. Oops, we can make a mess. We can take this and make sure, yeah, okay, maybe a little bit more there at the top as well. Okay, let's see if we can clean this up as well. Whew, okay. Right, but I'll tell you what we're going to do. We are going to do one at a time, actually, to make sure we don't dry anything out and we still get a smooth blend. Okay, so on this one, we're going to do a bit of, actually quite a lot probably, of the lime zinnia. And what I'm going to do is going to try to get it onto my spatula, so I can just kind of drag this over. But then we don't want to get too much because we just want like, kind of like a hint of it. And then you're going to want to try to drag down this so that it's not all the way up onto the top. So, okay, here we go. Ooh, ghoulish. Look at that. Oh, I really like this. Oh, okay, that just splattered onto my nose. Yeah. Excellent. Right, and the reason I'm doing this on black cardstock with a black pansy, you might think, what are you doing? But there is a method to the madness. I promise there really is. So the reason I do the black is to make sure, or the black cardstock, is to make sure that it's completely black underneath. Step number 1. Step number 2 is to put down the black pansy, and is to make sure that we have like a smooth base basically for our cover or our colors. So we don't want all of this to kind of be like lime zinnia or ocean poppy. So that is why we put down the black pansy first. Although, you know what, I don't actually like this one. We're going to try another one. So we're going to do this one. Aha, look. Okay, so I'm going to get a little bit on the top here. And then we're going to try to scrape this down. Okay, and then we're just going to drag this again across like this. And this stuff, oh, I tell you, I absolutely love it. It's just so fun. I mean, yeah, definitely. Apart from the life-changing blender brushes, this is one of my like top products ever from, never mind Picket Fence, but ever, I say. Okay, right. So as you can see, it's very, very fast drying, so we do have to work quite fast when you do this. And then we're gonna put the lid on nice and tight. Okay, so here is our first panel. So we're gonna put this aside and leave this to dry. And because this has gone quite thin, it's probably gonna dry in like half an hour. So we'll be ready for card making in a little bit. But I don't know why I'm tidying up now, because I'm gonna make a mess again. But all right, so we're gonna take this other piece And then we're gonna do the same thing again. So we're gonna take the black pansy and we're gonna slap it on like this. So this one we're gonna go a little bit less because we are actually gonna be adding a bit of gold on top of this. And then we're going to be adding some Paper Glitz, which is the new product from Picket Fence Studios. Right, so this is my favorite. So this is Golden Rose, and this is from the new Pumpkin Spice Ombres. I'm gonna go with the proper gold, I think. Yeah. So this stuff is so gorgeous. Oh, I love this color. Look at that. Shimmer, 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 shimmer. Okay, so there we go. And look at that glow. Oh, isn't this so cool? And then we're going to put the lid on this. And then we are going to... I think we're going to go for Autumn Persimmon to kind of give a little bit of a contrast there. So I have actually already pre-mixed this because I knew I was going to make this. But what you want to do is when you open your paper glitz, you're going to want to give it a really, really good stir to make sure that it's really, really well mixed together. So like all that glitter and the mica, it's going to be like smooth and oh, wow. Oh my goodness. This stuff is so fun and so nice. Like if you haven't seen it already, like look at this. There's no other color underneath this. This is just paper glitz on top of white cardstock. Bam. Right. Okay, so let's add this. Oops, okay, that's a little bit heavy maybe. So let's see if we can add a little bit more of the gold on top. Spread it out. Okay. Right, so we are going to put this aside as well and leave it to dry, and then we're going to start working on our ink blending. Alright, so next up we're going to be doing our ink blending, and I'm going to be doing quite a few colors. So we got Squeezed Lemonade, Salvage Patina, Salty Ocean, Chipped Sapphire, Wilted Violet, and Black Soot. So I also have a life-changing blender brush for each one of these colors because I love them and I don't want to be messing around with changing colors and stuff. So I have one for every color, and that's how I roll. So what we're gonna do is oh, actually, first of all, I forgot to mention as well, I have this like little piece of acetate, and you can see it's all battered with paper glaze, of course, and a little piece of post-it tape so I can see where it is on my desk. And I use this to hold my cardstock down so I don't touch it with fingerprints or like fingers and leave fingerprints in my ink blending. So that's another little hack that I have. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be ink blending a background. So we are going to be using this sort of roughly as a guide of where we want our colors. So we're going to kind of want a bit of like light behind here so that it sort of looks like this, either like fire or maybe a dramatic sunset or something behind the scarecrow, and then it's going to be sort of darker and darker and kind of ominous looking. So we're going to be moving this, not this. So as I said, the first color is a Squeezed Lemonade. So we're going to get some ink on our brush, and then we're going to be tapping off the excess onto the lid. And the reason I do this is because when I need a really, really soft touch of a color, I tap my brush on the lid instead of the ink pad. So it just feels like it gets a much, much softer look. And I also feel like by tapping it into here, I get an even cover on the brush as well. So, right, grab your brush, show us who's boss, firm grip, and then get to work. So I pretty much always go in circles, no matter what I'm blending and what I'm doing. So you start again, more ink, and then we are going to just go in circles and get this covered. So you can see here there's kind of like a very soft top touch of yellow at the top here. So we're going to leave that very, very soft. And then what we're going to be doing is pop the lid back on that, put this aside, and then we're going to move on to our next color. And we're going to be starting with just a little light touch of that to get this blend sort of go into the blend. And then from the other side, like that. And the neighbor's dog is going crazy outside at this time of the night, which I don't like. And so now that we have that soft, we're going to go in a little bit heavier to add that sort of salvaged patina. I love this color. I only just recently got it, and oh my goodness, it's such a gorgeous color. Love, 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 love it. So you can see here, you think, oh, that's not a very good blend, girl. So it will get better, I promise. So we're going to add a little bit more, and then we're going to just go over the bits that we have done. And then with whatever's left on the brush, we are going to kind of drag this down into the yellow with very small movements, fast, but smaller circle rather than like the big one that we were doing before. And just go gently, gently over this, like that. So this is already looking a lot smoother. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our yellow. We're not going to add any more color. We're just going to have whatever is left on the brush, and we're going to gently go over that salvaged patina and kind of merge the two together, or blend the two together. Duh, what am I on about? Ay, ay, ay. Right, so there. Okay, then we're going to move on to our next color, which is Salty Ocean. And for this, I think we're going to be swapping this around and also cleaning up the yellow over here. So this is a bottle that used to be either shampoo or conditioner. And so I just rinsed it out, filled it up with clean water, and I use it for whenever I need to just kind of clean up my desk a little bit like this. And I use old kitchen towels as well to make sure that I rein in my wastage somewhat. And also by repurposing stuff and using stuff that can be washed, I'm saving money that I can spend on more colors. Right, so we're going to go in here again with our Salty Ocean, and if you hear banging in the background, that is the man. Apologies about that, but it cannot be helped because this is filmed and chatted over at the same time. Real life, people, it happens. Yeah. Okay, so the whole point of like the salvage patina there was not to have a lot of it. It's more to kind of get that sort of ghoulish glow that I was after. So you might think, oh, you're covering it all up, but we'll be bringing it back. Don't you worry. But in order to get that sort of smooth blend, we do have to go over it a little bit. So here we're going to be going back in with our salvage patina brush, and you'll see how it kind of sort of blends together a lot better. So look at that. That's a lot better, isn't it? But I think we might be adding just a little bit here. There we go. So these colors I think just work so well together. And right now it doesn't look like a scary color blend, but we'll get there in the end. We will, I promise. Okay. Okay, so with chipped sapphire, because this is such a rich color, we're just going to be tapping our brush there for the time being. And here we're going to be going in from the top to kind of make sure that we get a good blend. And then we're going to go over with our Velvet Violet and the Black Soot as well to kind of create that ominousness. And again, a little tap. And start at the top. And drag the color down. And then we're going to go back in with the salty ocean, and we're going to blend that part together there a lot better. So it's my water bottle banging as well. Everything is working against me today. Okay, so you know what? We are going to go in a little bit dramatic. So we're going to go in a bit heavier here. And then from this corner, there we go. And probably back with a little bit more salty ocean, I think, just to be on the safe side. Okay, now, so we're gonna be adding a bit of the filtered violet, and we're gonna go in heavy with this one as well. So load up your brush, tappity tappity tap from the top and drag it down. Okay, here we go, a bit more ominous. And we're probably done with the violet. So we're going to go in with the black soot, and we're going to be putting our brushes away. And now we are going to be really bam, 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 adding color. So from the top, dragging it down. Okay. We're gonna have more filtered violet. And we're probably gonna have a little bit more chipped sapphire as well. Okay. Cool, 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 cool. And then another little cleanup. Right, so that is our first background. Now on this card here, I used the Distress Oxide sprays, but I wonder if this time I will do it with the Proper Gold splatters, just to change things up, because one doesn't want to be repetitive now, right? Yeah, let's do that. So I put my panel into one of these boxes. It's just an old box, nothing special. And then we're going to be using these watercolors to add a bit of that gold splatter. So we're going to be using, let's do blue gold. So here comes that little spray bottle again, super handy to have. And then with the paintbrush, dab, 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 dab. Let's load this up. Okay. And then we're gonna be banging this on top of a pair of scissors to get that splatter down. And that red bit there is actually from the paintbrush. there too. Okay, so that's quite a nice sort of light splatter. I wonder if we want to go a bit bigger. So we're going to add a little bit more water in there. So the less water you have in your paintbrush, the smaller your droplets. So if you want big ones, you're going to have to really get this wet. And then let's do this again. Yeah, much bigger droplets. Okay, so we're going to put that aside and leave that to dry. And then I'm going to make my other panel as well. But I'll probably hop into a time lapse because I've been jibber jabbering on for quite a while now. Right, so here we have our two finished and dried backgrounds. So I went ahead and added quite a lot of gold splatters because, you know, hey, why not, right? And here are our dried shimmer cardstock. So as you can see, they're a little bit warpy at the moment, but if you wanted to use one of these as a background, you just use probably a lot of glue. And I have actually found that with this sort of thing, Pritt Stick works a treat. So this is cheaper than normal glue, like normal crafting glue as well, so points for that. So you would just basically like cover the whole thing, put it onto a card base, and then like put your Misty or something heavy on top to leave it to dry flat, because it will get flat if you just glue it down. But we are going to be using the Scarecrow cover plate die on these two, and then we're just going to put these two cards together with a sentiment. Yeah, or two. I was going to say, or sentiment or two, but we're probably just going to do one sentiment each. And I might use another Picket Fence Studio product, which is the Seeing Double Alphabet die, and cut out boo or something instead to kind of just, you know, change these up a little bit, because you don't want to make everything exactly the same. Right? Yeah. So we can do them slightly different, but I will be right back. Ta-da! So that wasn't as smooth as I thought it was going to be. So here we go. I'll cut this out, and then I've done the two letters as well that I need for the boo. So we're going to just pop all these out. So here are the finished sort of cards with just the die cuts and the word basically. So I was thinking I might need to add something else, like a sentiment, but I don't know which one. So this is the one, these are the two I used on the first two cards. So I'm wondering, also we got to make sure that something fits. So let's open this and have a look. So that doesn't actually fit. Maybe wishing you a spooky day. Let's give that one a try. Oh, so here's another little hack that I do. So when there is coordinating dies, I put everything in the same packet so it's all together. So I don't actually like use the pockets unless the original wrapping breaks, because I'm like, well, why would I spend money on that when I can spend money on stamps and inks? So that's, you know, if you're a little bit of a saver, that could be something nice, you know, just one way to save some money. So we're gonna go ahead, I think, and stamp this up. So, oh, it's on this side. Wishing you a spooky day. Now, do we try that with white embossing or do we stamp it with black? Tell you what, we're going to use the same stamp on both of these cards. So I'm going to get my Misty out and we're going to stamp this up. Okay, so I stamped them up in slightly different spots on both cards just to kind of change things up a little bit. So we basically used the same supplies for both of these cards, just changed up a slightly different color scheme and the colors of the paper glitz that we've used, and then we've swapped the sentiments around. So even though you could make them exactly the same except for the colors, I think it's quite nice to just change things up a little bit. And now that I look at these, I'm thinking I actually like this layout better, but I think I like that color scheme better. So you learn something every day, right? Okay, so that's it from me for today, but really hope you enjoyed this video. And if you're, you know, if you're liking this sort of thing, I would love it if you drop me a comment so you can, you know, I can cater to what you actually want to watch. So if you think this was way too long and you just don't have the time, then I will make sure that the next video is sort of sped up a little bit, because I know there was a lot of this that was sort of in real time and I've just sped up a few things. So if this is not a format that you like, I would love to hear it. So just drop me a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, and I will see you again at the next video. Bye! Or boo!